All right, good afternoon, Corpus Christi. We are here with J.M. Lozano, State Representative for District 43. J.M., thank you so much for sitting down.
It's good to be here. It's great to be here with you.
Thank you so much. So we'll get right into the interview right now. So you filed a bill to add 2 San Patricio Port Commissioners. What do you plan on doing with this bill?
Yes, sir. Over time, the region all along the port, whether it's the inner harbor or going into the San Pat area, the growth has been tremendous over the last 20 years. And so the growth is great. It brings great jobs to the region. But because most of the growth has been in San Patricio County, you would expect that there are more than one port commissioner on the port commission, but it's still the same. There's only one, and the other 6 are from Nueces County or the city of Corpus Christi. And so this bill would just add 2 more, so it'd be a 9-member port commission, and there would be 3 from San Pat. There's still going to be 3 from the Nueces County and 3 from the city of Corpus Christi. So it wouldn't change the balance of power. It would just reflect the growth that's happened in San Patricio County.
Now, there's been speculation because there was some San Patricio Port Commissioners that were against having any more industry in San Patricio. Can you relay to us who wanted the bill filed?
Well, the whole communities in San Patricio County, which I represent, have every session have brought that to me to file. It's important that we continue to have industrial growth because those jobs are precious to our region. It's also important that it's always done properly. In the sense of industries getting tax abatements, at some point, if you're giving tax abatements, you should have more voices representative on that port commission. The port does not give tax abatements, but the cities and counties do, and in this case, they only have 1 vote on the port commission. It's just not fair, and the growth dictates the need for that.
Okay. Now, there also, let's get to desalination because the state address by Governor Greg Abbott said there's going to be big investments coming for water infrastructure. There's a TCEQ meeting for the city of Corpus Christi's Inner Harbor desalination plant, and as well as the city's issued millions of dollars in bonds and have selected Kiewit and Ingleside, which is in your district. Yes. I guess it's going to be over 6,000 employees from your district. Will you be supportive in the Inner Harbor desalination for the city of Corpus Christi?
Once all the permits are approved, then I would be 100% confident that it's safe to the community. I really have faith in the federal and the state application requirements. One of the things I'm most concerned about is if the circulation on the Inner Harbor is adequate to make sure that when they release the brine, that it's actually going out with the tide. Otherwise, it will continue to accumulate on the Inner Harbor, and the effects might not be seen for 10, 20 years, but there would be real adverse effects. We worked very hard, specifically Todd Hunter, to create aquaculture and oyster harvesting. The Gulf oysters are beautiful. They taste the best. But an oyster only lives in a very narrow band of water salinity. And so if they're going to increase that salinity beyond that, they're going to kill all the oysters. Why did we even work to pass that legislation? Seagrass will die. Tourism, fishing is one of the largest economic forces in the coastal bend. Without seagrass, fish can't spawn, and that would be horrible for the region. So there's a lot of things that need to be balanced, and I really believe that the permitting process at the state and the federal level is going to answer those questions, and I'm looking forward to reviewing all of that.
There you have J.M. Lozano. What are your top legislative priorities this legislative session?
You know, I was honored to have been appointed to the Appropriations Committee just today. I asked for that committee, and I'm thankful that I was able to be selected for it. My goal is to ensure that our region gets its fair share from state revenue. A lot of times, and I grew up in Fremont, a very small town, we'd go to games in San Antonio, we'd go to UIL tournaments in big schools, and we would see there was a huge disparity in in communities. And what was happening was the representatives, congressmen and women from the big cities were bringing home the bacon for their communities, and then they would like step us over, and we wouldn't get much in our region. I think that day is changing. So on an issue of fairness, my job is to make sure that we get adequate funding for the programs in our region, whether it's schooling, road construction, job creation. It's just to be an advocate for our region on that appropriations committee. That's going to be my priority this session.
Thank you so much, J.M. Lozano, State Representative for District 43. Any last words?
No, thank you so much. Thank you for the Chronica, for always just standing for truth and asking the hard questions that our traditional legacy media doesn't do anymore. This is a new generation. As a young person, Eric, and I had the privilege to get to know how I believe reporters